Hello, gerontology class. My name is Joe Lang, and I chose to interview my father. One of the reasons is because he's the spinning image of me. I'm trying to be funny. My father was born in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, in July 20th, 1931. Him and his sister were delivered by a midwife, and I thought that was interesting, and we'll get into that later. Since he was born about the same time that they started Social Security in 1936, I asked him about his work history, and he first said he started out as a paper boy, but then when he turned 20 years old, he had odd jobs, cutting lawns and stuff like that, so he started putting money into the Social Security system. But back then, it did not require a Social Security card. So, and I asked him about what does it mean to be aging in America since he's 9 years old, and he has a lot of history, and the book covers a lot of that history in the early 19th century. My father said his health issues were, well, first of all, he was gradually eating better and getting healthier, and his wife Maureen, she was a nurse, and so he had to go for a checkup, and when he went for a checkup, the doctor said, your arteries are blocked, you need to go into the hospital right away, and you need to have surgery. And my father said, no, I've been feeling good, and I've lost weight, and my Maureen said, no, you're going to the hospital now. And so they put him in the hospital, and Monday morning they did surgery at a quadruple heart surgery. And because of the way he had been taking care of himself, health-wise, it really helped him have a quick recovery with the heart surgery. They had him walking the next day, which I thought was amazing. And another physical ailment he had was macular degeneration, and that's when your eyes. He explained it to me where it's like the hardening of the eyes, arteries, and it works from the outs. It works from the I believe it was the inside out, where it starts to affect your peripheral vision. And he was driving, and he didn't see this person in the blind spot except for he was right on top of him. And that's when he realized he had to stop driving because it was too dangerous for him to drive because his vision was getting worse. And then later on, he was declared illegally blind. So then my father, he was a war veteran from Korea, and he went in as a lineman, but they asked if he'd like to do something else, and they were looking for a typist to work in the office, and he decided to take that job, which was good because he had a friend that was a lineman years later that he found out about. That being a lineman back then, you could easily get killed because snipers would take out any soldiers on a pole. Anyway, so I asked him about what type of veterans benefits he gets, and he says because of his eyesight and being legally blind, they had a course for a month at the VA where he learned to use machinery that would help him to read better, and a big machinery. And my father was a decent cook already, and so he learned how to walk with a white cane with red that indicates that you're blind. So he learned how to use that, and the different sounds from the cane. Apparently, you could tell where you were. So, when he was in the VA being trained how to use a cane and about him being blind. They also talked about 11 skills that he had to learn now that he was legally blind. And one thing I forgot to mention was when they did the heart operation, he had a pacemaker put in, but the pacemaker failed a month later. So they decided to put a pacemaker with a heart defibrillator. And my father asked the doctor, how will I know if the heart defibrillator went off? And the doctor quoted, "You'll feel like you've been kicked by a mule." Yeah, when he said that, we all laughed. So, but, his health insurance and his health reasons, and the VA covered a lot of his health benefits because he was a veteran during the Korean War. I asked him about his health issues. Did it make him depressed that those things were happening? And he said no. But I also asked him about, because myself, I was born with a handicap, and I was wondering how he felt about having a son with a handicap. And he just said, I have to take those things in stride. And that's one thing I really admired about what he said about this thing. And he says I couldn't lock myself away. I had to live life. And so that's as far as that went with that part of the interview.
That's all right. You're going down anyway. You gotta make wish me some hair on that hill. We got move again.
Oh, I should have said this.
You got 90 candles tomorrow, Grandpa.
Oh, yeah. This is my father's 90th birthday, and we all celebrated as a family, and we really had a good time, and my father did too, but that was at the same time that
Jessica, look over here.
Brian got married on July 17th, because everyone's come down for my father's birthday, so it was a great celebration, and we really enjoyed ourselves.
Come on.
And thank you very much. This gerontology class has really opened my eyes to a lot of the issues that people face as getting older, and I just want to thank you very much for the class. And Professor Wilson, I want to thank you for the class. It's been educational, and I've learned a lot, and it will help me to help others. Thank you so much.